Nicole from Nicole Loves Nails. Welcome to my channel. So today's video is for some new releases from Zoya. I have their new holiday collection called Magical, and I also have their November color of the month. So before we get into today's video, I got a couple of things to mention, and the first being, if you are new around here, hi, my name is Nicole. It is wonderful to meet you, and thank you very much for clicking on today's video. Do consider hitting subscribe. I upload new videos every single week on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and I also go live on Sundays. If in fact you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. How are you doing? How is everyone's week going? So the products featured in today's video, I did purchase with my own money, and as always, all thoughts and opinions are my own. So these polishes are available right now on the Zoya website. They're available in both full size as well as mini size bottles, and all the polishes come with Zoya's Z wide brush. Zoya does ship internationally from the US. This collection should also be popping up on beyondpolish.com fairly shortly. I do have an affiliate code with Beyond Polish if you want to pick these ones up at a discount outside of Zoya's many different sales. Feel free to use code Nicole Loves Nails to save an additional 10%. I do find that the Beyond Polish website is the cheapest place I personally can find here in the US to purchase Zoya outside of Zoya's many different sales. So as always, down in the description box, I will have links to where you can pick these polishes up, links to the Zoya website, links to the Zoya website and social media pages, my social media pages, as well as a link to my blog post on NicoleLovesNails.com where I host all of my swatch photos, as well as provide a written review. And of course, timestamps are down there as well. Let's get into this video. First up, we have Inez, which Zoya describes as a magenta base with a rose gold micro flake. Inez is one of the polishes in this release that I knew I was absolutely going to love. I just love this shade of pink. It has had a fantastic formula. It was a lot more opaque, especially on that first coat, than I was personally expecting. It was by no means a one coater, but I don't think any polish has to be a one coater, but overall coverage was really good and it applied very nicely. The flakies are a bit more subtle than I would have personally liked, but they are still very visible on the nail and they do not dry down in any way textured. You will, however, want top coat for a nice glossy finish. So I swatched Inez in 2 coats plus glossy top coat. Removal will be very easy for this one. While I did not personally experience any staining, whenever I have a polish that's this opaque, I always feel like it's a potential stainer, so wear a base coat. And now we have Cherri, which the brand describes as a rich blue-red cream. This polish caused me hell. This is going to be one of the polishes in this release that I really struggled getting color accurate photos. In the bottle, this looks like a pink leaning red. On the first coat, it looks like a pink leaning red. However, as it dried down, it looked more red and less pink. You can see where Zoya was going with calling this a blue red. I'm assuming they just mean it's a cool red. I feel like on me, with my very warm undertones, the warmness in my skin tone really brought out the warmth in this polish. Here in natural lighting, you can kind of see the pinky leaniness, especially in the bottle. Color this is in the bottle is a very different color than it is on that. It definitely looks a lot more red once it dries down. Honestly, can't wait to see how this one looks on swatches of people who have cooler skin tones than me, because I'm really curious at how it's going to pull on them. Other than this polish making me feel like I don't know what I'm doing at all, it had a really fantastic formula. When you first apply it, you think it's going to be a solid one coater, but it does dry down a lot sheerer than it initially applies. I ended up using 2 coats for my full-hand swatches. However, I did have some visible nail line with this one, just a little hint of visible nail line. This was just a very weird polish altogether. Not weird as in bad, just weird as in it kept changing colors. It got remarkably sheer once it dried down. It was just very odd. My photos show Cherri in 2 coats plus glossy top coat. I did end up having a little bit of visible nail line. If I really looked for it, I could see my nail line in this one, which again is weird because when I first applied it, it was opaque in one coat. Removal will be very easy for this polish, but I do think it is a potential stainer. When I was removing it, I had to really scrub off all of the red off of my finger, so caution, wear base coat, you know the drill. On the subject of interesting reds, we now have Vixen, which Zoya describes as a blackened cherry cream. This has never been the kind of color that I enjoy, so I got a question for those of you who do like colors like this. Are they always so sheer on the first coat? I feel like every single cream that I have swatched that is a blackened red that is so black that it looks black, basically, I feel like they all start off very sheer, which I find so odd because they're so dark. So yeah, if anyone knows, please let me know because I'm very curious. So Vixen, as you can tell, is a very vampy, very dark red cream. and it will look like a black to like a reddish brown in most light sources. Formula was a little bit thicker than I was expecting, but not so thick that I struggled with application. I found it applied very nicely, self-leveled pretty good as well. The only thing that I don't like about this one is that I needed 3 coats to reach full opacity. I found in 2 coats that it looked kind of patchy on me. I feel like it was hard to pick up in my live swatch, the patchiness, but like in person, I could see patchiness in 2 coats, so my photos show it in 3 coats plus glossy top coat. I was kind of digging how this one looked on me. Like, it feels very vampy. Like, I felt kind of like Drusilla a little bit. Just didn't love that this was a 3-coater though. But again, I don't know if that's normal for this kind of shade. I feel like all the ones that I have swatched have been 3-coaters, so I don't know. Let me know. Easy removal, and I had no issues with staining. And now we have Adara, which Zoya describes as a radiant lapis blue with flecks of rose gold dance along twinkling blue glitters. The hold this shade of blue has on my soul, like I love it. I don't know what to say. I freaking love it. I love this shade of blue. Because I know I love this shade of blue, I knew I was going to absolutely love this color. Adara has a very opaque jelly formula, so on the first coat it's very sheer. On the second coat, coverage is fairly even, so if you don't mind that you don't have the exact shade of blue that you see in the bottle, coverage is definitely passable in 2 coats. However, I did end up adding a 3rd coat, and I found that brought me to full opacity, as well as I saw the color on the nail that I was seeing in the bottle. The flakies and glitters in here are more subtle than I would personally like, but my general love for this shade of blue overrode my desire for wanting like in-your-face sparkly glittery components. You will want top coat for this one just to smooth everything out and give you a nice glossy finish. I was really surprised that when I brought this one outside, it looked very blurple for some reason. I don't know what happened, but it was looking very blurple. I thought it was very odd. All of the glitters in here are super duper tiny, so I don't foresee them being that difficult to remove if you want to scrub the polish off. I would still recommend the soak off method because I feel like this could be a potential stainer anyway, so yeah, be careful, use the soak off method. Next up we have Farleigh, which Zoya describes as an oyster shell hue casting holographic spells in micro shimmer. I don't know how much that description tells you of anything. I'm going to call this one a very pale lilac crelly base with holographic glitter and maybe some kind of shimmer as well. This is a very sheer base. You're going to want to build it up to get the most opacity as well as even coverage. I found on that first and second coat, it was very uneven and I was just like, this is not going to work out. But the 3rd coat, brought it all together. This polish has a metric ton of holographic glitter in here. It is like redonkulously sparkly. I think the holographic glitter in here is the same kind that was in the fall collection. The holographic glitter, of course, dries down fairly textured. You're gonna want to double up on your top coat to get a nice smooth finish. I ended up liking Farleigh a lot more than I initially thought I was going to because like the color itself is not for me, but like the holographic is definitely for me. There will be some obvious visible nail line with this one even after 3 coats, but I do find that the glitters largely distract from your nail line, but like you will be able to see it very clearly. Use the soak off method or peel off base coat for the easiest removal experience for this one. Do not scrub it off. And now we have Bisoux, which Zoya describes as dive into a delicate opal pink kissed with rose microflakes and a sprinkle of gold and holographic dazzle. I don't know why some polishes get like a very long drawn out description and others are like blue toned red. Bisoux is like the pink, slightly more opaque version to Farleigh. I did not realize how similar Bisoux and Farleigh was until I was here getting the live swatch portion put together, and I had to go back and forth to verify which polish was which because I could not tell the difference between the two. If you are also struggling, Bisoux is more pink. There also seems to be less holographic in here, and there's an added rose gold element. The base on this almost feels kind of milky in a way. The base also was a bit more on the thicker side, but so was Farleigh. I'm going to call this another 3-coater. I found that it was just very uneven and patchy looking in 2 coats, and I didn't really reach that full even coverage until I went in for my 3rd coat. If you aren't super picky, maybe you'll call it passable in 2, but like I can't handle the unevenness, so 3-coater for me. I do really like how soft and delicate this polish looks. Like, again, I feel like I always say this, but again, soft and delicate colors are not really my thing personally, but this is just so cute looking. I really liked it. The glitters do dry down fairly textured. I used 1 thick coat of glossy top coat for my full on swatches. I feel like if I was wearing this for longer, I probably would have to add a 2nd coat of top coat just to get everything nice and smooth. And of course, removal, do not scrub it off. Use the soak off method or a peel off base coat. Hey, say hi to everybody. This next polish is called Amaris. It is Zoya's color of the month for the month of November. Zoya's description is very long and doesn't say much, so I'm just going to describe it as a blue leaning teal with holographic glitter. Amaris had a fantastic formula. I am kind of surprised that Zoya has been on this glitter kick lately, which I am not mad at one bit. I love me some glitter. The formula on this one was a little bit on the thicker side, but I found it overall very easy to work with. I love this shade of like a bluish teal. This is one of those shades of teal that want to photograph more blue than it actually is. You'll see in natural lighting as well as my swatch photos, like it's teal. Had a really nice but thicker formula, but again, this is a full coverage glitter, so of course it's going to be like a little bit on the thicker side. Because this one is on the thicker side and because also the glitters do dry down with a lot of texture, I knew I would need a couple of coats of top coat to smooth everything out. So I really did not want to go in for a third coat because I thought it'd make my nails look a little bit chonky, but I do think depending on your application style, this will be a 2 to 3 coater. My photos do show it in 2 coats plus 2 coats of top coat. For my 2 coats on the second coat, I did kind of zhuzh the brush around to make sure I didn't have any light spots on my nails. I did not personally experience any staining with this one, but definitely use the soak off method or peel off base coat. Do not scrub this one off. I was kind of curious at how similar this polish was going to be to Lennon from the fall collection from this year. They're both like bluey teals, but in different vibes. Alrighty, so final thoughts. Overall, I did not think this was a bad collection at all. I was really happy with how many glitters were in it. I feel like the glitters were largely what made me want to pick this collection up to review. I feel like the color, sorry, I'm looking at my phone to look at the color story again. I feel like overall the color story does, I buy this being a winter collection. For those of you who have been buying Zoya, for a while now, do you find that their polishes have gotten a little bit thicker this past year? But for whatever reason, I feel... Hi, Stormy. Do you want to be in the video? Are you gonna bite me again? So I don't know why, but I feel like Zoya's polishes have gotten a little bit on the thicker side than I previously recall them being. I don't know if the name Farleigh is... well, one, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, and two, I don't know if that's the normal spelling for that polish. When I saw the name of that one, it made me think of that Reddit page called Tragedy for names that are spelled strangely. It made me think of that. As far as Zoya's 2023 has gone, I don't think this was a bad year for Zoya at all. I'm trying to think of what releases has stood out the most in my mind from Zoya this past year, and I can't think of anything. I guess maybe the fall collection was my favorite of the Zoya releases of the entire year. I don't feel like anything that Zoya has done this year has really stood out super strongly to me. I have been enjoying the colors of the month, but I also hate that they're, limited edition. I got the Zoya October color of the month swatch, but by the time I re-swatched it, because I accidentally deleted the footage, it was sold out. And I'm hoping that by the time this video goes up, that the November polish is in fact still in stock. But if you were unaware, the colors of the month are limited edition. I'm kind of holding out hope that Zoya will surprise us sometime in November or December with re-releasing all of the past colors of the month. I'll pop them all up on the screen here in case anyone missed them and wants to see them. I feel like one of my biggest frustrations in the nail polish space in general is the sheer amount of limited edition products. I feel like mainstream brands like Zoya, OPI, China Glaze, they do limited edition, but generally you're not scrambling to try to find them. And I feel like with Zoya doing these colors of the month and not being super transparent on the polishes, definitely being limited edition. And I understand color of the month would, make you think it's available for the month. But in the case of October, while it was available in October, it wasn't available for the entire month of October. And I feel like when you have products like this, if you're going to do a one and done release, you really should make it very clear to people that once it sells out, it's gone. So people are aware to, grab it. So I really wish that the colors of the month were at least, fully available for the entire month that they are supposed to be there for. Or, make them more available. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I feel like I probably said this, but that's just my opinion. I just find it kind of annoying. I think my top picks from the main collection are going to be Adara and Bisoux. I think that's Bisoux. I actually haven't looked at how to pronounce these yet. I'm going to be doing that when I record the live swatches. So, yeah. I'd love to know what everyone else saw of this release though. What do you think of Zoya's polishes for the year 2023? Again, like, I don't think there was anything bad about their releases, but I don't really feel like anything like really stood out to me either. I forgot to do this for my China Glaze holiday video, so I'll do this for the Zoya one. As far as mainstream holiday releases go, here is my little ranking thing. It looks like Essie is not going to be releasing a winter/holiday collection here in the States. They have one collection that released over in, I think Europe, UK, but to be honest, I haven't seen anywhere where shipping was low enough to justify me getting it, and yeah, so I don't think I'm going to be reviewing that one. But yeah, so as far as what we do have for holiday 2023, I think I'm going to go with China Glaze at number 1, Zoya at number 2, OPI at number 3, and then Orly at number 4. I'd love to know what everyone else thought their favorite mainstream holiday collection of the year was. Also, one more thing about Zoya. Zoya does some really good sales this time of year, so I would just let you all know to, you know, wait a minute before you pick this collection up if you want to pick this collection up. Between now and like the beginning of the year, expect like 50 and 75% off sales. Before we end today's video, I want to give a very special shout out to my channel members, Shenanigang! Thank you guys so very much. Of course, your names are of course all on the screen right now. I feel like Shenanigang. I really like how that sounds. Good job, team! Thank you all so very much for all your support. I appreciate every single one of you. If you would like to sign up for my channel memberships, I have a link for that down in the description box. But as always, please do not feel pressure to sign up for memberships. Just like the video, comment, share, subscribe, all of the things, and seriously, we are good. Seriously, we are good. So just thank you all so very much for watching today's video. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!